These are the three PSUs side by side. This is the Sparkle 270 watt. It has 16 amp on 12 volt 1 and 10 amp on 12 volt 2. The Shuttle PC50 has 8 amp on 12 volt 1 and 13.5 amp on 12 volt 2. And the stock HP 180 watt power supply has 12.5 amp on the 12 volt rail. You can see their fan design on the back side. It looks like the HP unit may have actually the biggest, potentially the best fan. When you power them up without a load, the most silent is actually the Shuttle PC50. The HP and the Sparkle are about the same volume, which is just barely audible. The Shuttle PC50 is the only of the three power supplies that has two fans. There's one on each side. You can see the Sparkle has one single fan. And you can see the HP stock power supply has one fan. The power leads come out differently on the HP Slimline. You can see it's a Micro-ATX adapter, whereas the other two power supplies have a standard ATX 20-pin adapter. So you have to buy that little adapter from ATX power supplies, or you have to make your own adapter by splicing wires. The adapter from ATX power supplies looks like this. It is simply just a micro-fit adapter to a standard ATX adapter. I wrapped it in electrical tape to kind of help increase airflow. To allow the Sparkle 270 watt power supply to fit so that the three screws are able to screw in, you have to smash down those two little pieces on the chassis that hold the HP stock power supply in place. And you need not worry, because that ridge right here will still help hold your power supply in place. So what I did is just took a screwdriver and just smashed those two spots down. The Sparkle PSU actually has three of the screw holes that match up. You can use the bottom right and the two far left if you finagle it a little bit. Alright, this is the Sparkle 270 watt with a 9800 GT graphics card, letting you hear the fan noise. You can see that it's kind of quiet when it first starts up, not bothersome at all. But after a while of running, it gets pretty warm, and then the fan temperature controller starts speeding up the fan. What I'm going to do here is start up Prime 95 instance and 3D Mark 06, and keep this CPU and PC up. The PSU will start getting hot, and you'll hear the fan start kicking in. Cold, snowy day outside, and it's probably 65 degrees down here. 3D Mark 06 is running just a standard run, and it just started. I have Prime 95 running in the background, and I also have a auto virus scan kicked off. It's only been a couple minutes. It's still the first test, and you can see nothing's loud yet. This is the third run through 3D Mark 06. Specifically is the PSU fan that's spinning loud, but now some heat's built up, things no longer quiet. You can see 3D Mark's been running along with Prime 95. And let's see where our CPU temp is. 66, 62, 65, 67, 70. There's a high there. You can hear it throttling back a little bit since it dropped out of 3D Mark, but again, that's still all the PSU. Because I put this little 9800 GT card in my full-size rig, and no matter what you do to it with benchmarks, I've never seen it ramp up and get as loud as it is when you first turn it on. This is the sound it makes after it had a little bit of time to cool down at the desktop. Because there's no case on there and it's cold in this room, I would assume this is about as loud as it would be just on normal day-to-day operation if you had a couple 40mm fans on the back. See, the temperatures are 47, 33, 47, and 40 for the 4 cores. It's running at 2 gigahertz. It's throttled down from 2.5 gigahertz. The scores are 5.9 across the board except for memory, which is 4.8. There is 4 gigs of PC6400 in here, but these HP Slimlines with the Intel side only have single channel RAM, so your RAM scores suffer a bit. You'll note that with the PC50, you can use the 2 leftmost screw mounts. The one on the right side here just barely misses. I can't get it to line up. Doesn't need it anyway. It's in there really firm. It's not going to go anywhere. Alright, it just finished its 3rd session of 3D Mark with the PC50 Shuttle PSU. You can see that it's a lot quieter than the Sparkle's 270 watt. It's also still running a Prime 95 instance on the Quad Core CPU. I never heard it get any louder than this. In order to make this cage fit with the PC50 wire, because the wire has to go through here, I had to cut back the cage a little bit, so I used a pair of 10 snips. And you can kind of see that I cut off about that much metal. Snipped it down here, left that hole there, and then cut off up here. I'll put a piece of electrical tape over the top of that to avoid cutting into wires.